Someone posed the question, why are the properties of a catalog record valuable when most searchers use only keywords? Let's take a look at keywords in catalog records to determine the answer. Keywords use conversational or natural language. They represent the main concept of a topic in a single word or short group of words. They allow for a broad search, pulling everything in which the word or words appear anywhere. Keywords may yield too many irrelevant results, especially if a short group of words was used. The simple answer to why the properties of a catalog record are valuable when most searchers use keywords is that keywords searches results include items in which the keywords appear anywhere. It could be within the title, within the title of the newspaper or journal, or any other source it's coming from. It can be in the abstract, the content, the properties of the record, the citations used in the content, the database that has the source, and if you use more than one keyword, if there's a group of words, they can appear in the search results with only just one of them or with a combination of any number of them, not necessarily in the order that you entered them. They can even show up in combination with keywords that you did not include in your search, because the results include everything in which the keyword or words appear anywhere. However, that is the simple answer. It's much more complicated than that. Catalog records are metadata. Now, you may have heard metadata defined as data about data, but good metadata is structured information that allows someone to identify, locate, and retrieve a resource. That is exactly what a catalog record does. A catalog record includes many types of metadata, including descriptive, which explains the aboutness of a resource, like what is it, who wrote or created it, what is the title and subject matter. It literally describes the resource. Administrative metadata is information related to the managing and maintaining a resource. It includes copyright and digital rights restrictions, details about digitization like resolution, file format, size, access specification, and things like that. There's also a creation date and other background information. Structural metadata provides information about how the data is organized. Is it digital or a physical format? How do the pieces of information within the resource relate to one another? Are there chapters or sections? Does it include both an image and a description of the image? Is it the original or another version or edition of the original? This is how it's structured. Related to the structure is preservation metadata. It tells you how to preserve the resource and how it was preserved in the past. Perhaps the original was a newspaper article that was transferred to microfiche that required a microfiche reader, and then maybe transferred to a PDF, and then saved on a CD-ROM that required Windows 7, then updated to Windows 8, and then made Windows 10 compatible, and may actually require another update to make it readable within Windows 11. Now, to the general library patron, this information may not matter, but for the cataloger to make this newspaper article accessible, over time, these preservation methods had to be noted. So that way, future preservation methods may be implemented and other sources sought if there's degradation of the information based on all of these transfers. So maybe perhaps this PDF is not a text format, but maybe it's an image of this microfiche. So the next step in this evolution of preservation and access might be to go back to the original newspaper or get to that text, possibly even have to recreate that text in a format that allows it to be digitized and work with Windows 11 rather than continue to just update the software. Because as each update happens, the data can be pixelized and made inaccessible. Now, I realize that this may be an archival tangent, but my point is the metadata matters, not only for preservation, but also for continued access. In fact, all of the different types of metadata are important, and together um, in a catalog record, cover two types of data. This includes bibliographic records, which give you information about an item, and authority records, which contain standardized forms for all of the information related to the item. So the longer answer to why the properties of a catalog record are valuable when most searchers only use keywords is because each type of data and metadata within the properties makes the resource fair, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. However, to be fair, there must be standards. The standard rules and guidelines for producing metadata in a catalog record is the Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, which has been an international standard since the 1960s. Over the years, there have been revisions and updates to these standards, but a new content standard emerged with the digital age in the early 2000s, RDA, Resource Description and Access. Both of these standards are used within MARC 21, which is a communications exchange format that provides the structure for encoding the content of the bibliographic and authority data. These standards really focus on accessibility, interoperability, and reusability. The standards that focus on findability fall within controlled vocabularies, classification schedules, and subject headings. Controlled vocabularies provide consistency in the assignment and use of terms, using only those with unambiguous definitions. Classification schedules are a controlled vocabulary, but they consider both the subject, what it's about, and the discipline, a related body of knowledge that defines a particular approach to a subject, to determine where within a collection, an item should go to be with similar items. In the Library of Congress classification schedule, this creates an alphanumeric notation that begins the call number and arranges them with subject proximity in a hierarchy from broader to narrower within the disciplines. Subject headings act as a kind of index to the classification scheme. They control terms for both the information organizer and the information seeker. And as with all controlled vocabularies, the Library of Congress subject headings employ a syntactic structure that links related terms, which is, of course, helpful in providing those see and see also references in a catalog or index. The subject headings in a MARC 21 record fall within the 650 meta tag fields. That's right around here. The classification schedule appears up here in the 050 in the call number. This first part, the A. B is more of is the cutter table, which sort of points you to who the author or publisher is, as well as the publication date. In fact, there's a lot of examples of controlled vocabulary within a catalog record, and they all assist in making the information findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. Now, catalog records may appear different than this one, depending on if AARC2 or RDA is used, and based on the integrated library system. This one is from a system called AG Verso, and it may look a little different than your systems. But the meta tags, that's these numbers here, and the required metadata are the same regardless of what standard content or content standard is used and regardless of what ILS system is used. These meta tags and required metadata types are all the same. Having universal meta tags and standards make catalog records work with all systems and allows libraries to share with one another. Most libraries use the Online Computer Library Center, OCLC, an organization renowned for maintaining a worldwide database of high-quality metadata in catalog records. Sharing using OCLC's WorldCat makes cataloging more efficient by reducing redundant steps, optimizing workflow, and using the power of collaborative creation and enhancement, which not only results in a better quality record, but also reduces operational costs. OCLC also offers WorldShare, an interlibrary loan cloud-based service that allows the discovery of library resources made visible to all subscribers and for the lending and borrowing of those resources across a network of over 10,000 libraries worldwide. So, although most searchers use keywords, the property of a catalog record are valuable because a keyword can come from anywhere, and because properties make a resource fair and shareable. These are the references used in this presentation. Thank you for listening and have a great day.